Well, hey, friends. Today I'm inviting you into the Lovely Lab as I prepare some special gifts of hand poured watercolor palettes, postcards, and my limited edition artwork, all packaged with care to be mailed out to my creative community. And along the way, we'll celebrate the colors, textures, and joy of gifting art. Now, I'll also be sharing a poem and a short story about art, a little reflection on how creativity connects us all. So don't go nowhere. We are about to get started.
Welcome back to Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Fam the Fabulous.
In a previous video, we created watercolor postcards to share with friends, and in our last video, you saw me pouring paints in these little palettes. Okay, now let me just start off by saying this. This video was recorded weeks ago, but until I knew that each recipient had received their package, I wasn't going to go throw out a spoiler alert and ruin their surprise, as they had no idea I was sending any of this. Now, that said, it brings me great joy to send gifts out to the community that has given me so much. From inspiration and encouragement to care and support, I am truly and immensely blessed by all of you. And I look forward to ways to share my blessings with you, or simply be a blessing to you however I can. Now, I don't have a ton of money, but I've got love, wisdom, experience, and a couple of coins. So that, my friend, is what I offer. Now, as I pulled out the tubes of paint and began pouring out these palettes a while ago, because it takes a few weeks for them to cure enough for mailing, I began to reflect on some of the things I learned in my latest art appreciation class I took this semester. I began to think of all the different ways art is intertwined with life and vice versa. Just pouring the paints was a source of inspiration for what I'll share in just a minute. There are times when I take in some form of visual art and am moved in a way that provides direction in my own life, in my real life, And then there are also times where I witness or experience something in my life and it serves as inspiration for artistic expression. So as I poured the watercolor paints into the palettes, I reflected on what both the paint and the palette represents or is symbolic of in our lives. There is just so much I took away as I prepared those little gifts. In a sunlit studio above a bustling city street, nestled between a bakery and a bookstore, lived a painter named Dolores. Her window overlooked a mosaic of storefronts, each with its own rhythm, its own color, its own story. She loved the way the neon signs flickered to life at dusk, how the awnings danced in the breeze, and how the people below moved like brushstrokes across a living canvas. Each morning, Dolores added a new dab of paint to her palette, not always because she needed it, but because it felt right. A new hue of ochre for the warmth of a stranger's smile, a streak of cobalt for the melancholy in a forgotten alley, a splash of vermilion for the fire in her chest when inspiration struck. She didn't always know what she would paint. Sometimes the colors just sat there, quiet, waiting. But over time, they began to blend. The ochre met the cobalt and birthed the stormy tenderness. The vermilion bled into the ivory and became a sunrise. Her palette, once a collection of isolated pigments, became a symphony of possibility. One day, her son wandered into her studio during an open gallery walk. He stared not at the paintings on the wall, but at the palette on her table. "Why do you have so many colors?" he asked. Dolores smiled. "Well, because the world needs more than one voice. Every color is a story I've chosen to share." The boy nodded, then pointed to a swirl of green and gold. "That one looks like the park near my school." And just like that, Dolores realized Her palette wasn't just hers anymore, it was part of something larger. Each color she added gave someone else a way to see, to feel, to remember. She wasn't just painting pictures, she was expanding the world's palette. The end. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that short story. And if you did, go ahead and type Go Dolores in the comment section. And if you like that, then hopefully you will love this next poem inspired by these little palettes and all of the glory therein. All right, sit tight, guys. A Palette of Soul by Fam the Fabulous. In a studio perched above city's hum, where awnings flutter and neons strum, a painter stirred with morning light, her palette bare, her heart alight. She dabbed ochre for kindness seen, cobalt for alleys lost between, vermilion for sparks that danced in air, each color a whisper, a silent prayer. She didn't paint to fill the wall, but to echo the world's quiet call. Her palette bloomed with hues unplanned, stories swirling beneath her hand. A child appeared, eyes wide with awe, not at the art, but what he saw. The palette, messy, bold, alive, a map of feelings that could survive. Why so many? The young voice said. She smiled and gently bowed her head. Each color's a voice I've dared to share, a way to show the world I care. And in that moment, she understood. Her gift was not just paint or wood, but the courage to add her shade to the whole, the color of her voice from her palette of soul. I hope you enjoyed my little poetry corner here in the Lovely Lab. If you did, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. And I've got to say, I never thought that packing up postcards and palettes would prompt so much reflection and provide such inspiration, but that is, in fact, the gift I received in return. Perhaps you noticed that both the short story and the poem derived from it provided an analogy of the painter's palette. And in that analogy, the palette represents the collective canvas of humanity, our shared culture, ideas, and emotions. Each color added is a unique perspective, skill, or an inspiration contributed by our individual human experience. Now, blending the colors or mixing the colors mirrors collaboration and the fusion of our diverse ideas that lead to entirely new shades of thought. Now, on the other hand, unused paint dries and fades, just as unshared creativity risks being lost to time. Even a single drop can transform the tone of an entire piece, just as one person's insight can shift how we see the world. So, as you pull out your palette and begin to curate your next set of colors to work with, I hope you remember, adding paint to a palette is akin to you sharing your vision with the world. Each new color expands the possibilities of what can be expressed, experienced, imagined, and felt. And I hope you decide to add your color boldly and freely. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and until we are back together here on Patreon and YouTube, stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative, and crafty. Bye for now.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafty community, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.